All right, we don't have time to dilly-dally. It's already 11:15. We're going to get straight into the reading. It's been a while since we did this. What was the deal with Absalom so far? Let's do chapter recap for chapter 14. Age-restricted channel? The heck? Nothing is what it says. Dun, dun, dun. 1 second. You guys will be happy to know I did all my cable management except for a couple cables because I need extenders. So right now they're like running, like the camera cable is running across the desk. I need a USB cable extension, 2 of them. One for the keyboard. Eventually we'll get a wireless keyboard, but that's not like a priority right now. One for the keyboard, one for the camera. Eventually I'm going to get a different camera for this main camera. That camera is going to come over here and be a secondary camera for if I'm playing the Switch, and eventually a Switch 2 on this TV, and I turn the chair, and then I can get a green screen that pops up right here and have the camera here and play with a green screen behind me. What's up, Shiva? But I got the cable management all done. I got OBS all set up, except for the overlays. I haven't done all the overlay stuff yet, but I did go in settings of OBS and I set up all the settings. Dude, I figured out studio mode. I've been doing this for... I can recommend Keychron keyboards. I have one. Typing on it is it mechanical? What's a mechanic? What's the... I don't know if I've ever felt a mechanical keyboard. Like what the difference feels like. My brother's like, get a mechanical keyboard. Also, if you get a wireless keyboard, is there some sort of latency with video games? They make them for gaming, so I gotta assume they're pretty quick. What I was gonna say is, in OBS, I've been streaming for 3 years, and I never tried studio mode. So a lot of times, there's been times where I'm trying to edit a scene in the background while I'm in another scene, and I don't want you guys to see how I'm editing the scene because it looks sloppy. But when you click on the scene, when you're in regular mode, when you click on the scene, it instantly jumps to that scene. So if I wanted to change a scene, I'd have to click on it, and it would jump to that scene. Studio mode, you can do all of that stuff in the background and nobody sees it, and you can prepare the next scene. Dude, I'm learning all kinds of new stuff. But I got the OBS all set up. I got some layouts set up. Like, check this out. This is the... Well, nah, I'll show you it when we do a gaming stream. One of these nights we're going to do some Black Myth Wukong. 3 years, LOL, you plank. I know, and I never set up overlays or nothing. Because it's like a whole... I got to take a damn college course to figure... I've watched probably 30 hours worth of YouTube videos. And the problem is, I'm watching the videos... I'm listening to the videos while I'm at work, so I can't really watch the videos, but I'm listening and I'm picking things up. I need to watch the videos while I'm at the computer in front of OBS and do it along with them. Just wait till you discover scene transitions. I already got that. I already got that figured out. Okay, I got stingers. Now I need to figure out how to get the overlay that I bought. I paid $30 for an overlay the other night while I was drunk. I need to figure out how to use it. Because I got a nice, cool animated overlay with different scenes and stingers and sounds and cool alerts and stuff. Like, I got this one. So this is what I'm using right now. This is a free one. This is the free one. And just to practice, I set it up, and we've been using this. But I paid for a cool one. Way cooler. I just got to figure out how to get it downloaded and put into Streamlabs. It's a mess. Once you wrap your head around it, it's pretty simple. Haven't used. Okay. Anyway, enough dilly dallying. I'm just trying to share this stream out to a few places, and we're gonna get started. And then I want a recap because I forgot what's going on with Absalom. Absalom alaikum. 2 Samuel 14 recap. 2 Samuel 14, God continues to fill his word. The evil and the sword wouldn't depart from David's house. By positioning Absalom to rebel against David, God works through Joab's scheming, Absalom's impetuousness, and David's weak leadership to move toward the fulfillment of his promise in 2 Samuel 12:10. God continues judgment on David's house. Saul died in 155 BC after reigning over Israel. David became king. David, Joab, the wise woman. Oh, yeah. Wise woman. Joab chose a woman from Tekoa to dress up as a mourning widow in order to convince David to allow Absalom to come home. Oh, right. Okay. They keep playing tricks on David to teach him lessons. Absalom is David's son by Maacah. And Amnon is David's son by Ahinoam. Absalom fled to Geshur after killing his brother. Oh, yeah. Absalom's the one that killed his brother. And then David's okay with it, though. Joab's deception convinces David to bring Absalom home. Joab knew David longed for his son Absalom, so he devised a plan. He found a wise woman who told her to dress up like a Mormon and go into the king with a sad story. She told the king that she was a widow who had 2 sons, but they got into an argument and one killed the other. Her relatives wanted the remaining son to be put to death for his crimes, so she wanted David to pardon him because he was the last of her immediate family. David said, yeah, I'm going to pardon him. And she said, guess what, David? This story's about you. This is your story. He even called the Lord to witness his decision. Having heard David's decision, the woman revealed her true intentions by telling David he ought to extend the same pardon to his son for killing his brother. David only learns through parables and having tricks played on him. Okay. All right, good. So we're caught up. Let's go to chapter 15, 2 Samuel 15. If you're new here, what up, Terry? When are you doing the book of Job? Would you be willing to have a discussion or a debate on it? Yeah, I did a Monday night show, in-depth breakdown of Job like 2 years ago. It's on my channel somewhere. But yeah, we could do that. I don't know what we're gonna debate. I don't know what we don't see eye to eye on about it. I listened to you and Mosman and somebody else on a stream talking about Job a while ago, and I think I agreed with most of the stuff you said. I didn't agree with some of the stuff Mosman said. Mosman said the whale is metaphorical and that Job was actually in hell. I don't agree with that. Or something like that. But sure. If you're new here, guys, this isn't like, it says Bible study in the thumbnail, but it's not really a Bible study. It's more just, well, we are studying the Bible, but I don't have like lesson plans or anything like that. We're just reading the Bible from front to back, usually about 5 or 6 chapters whenever I do it. So we're just reading through it. I'm not picking verses. There's no lesson plan. We're just reading the Bible. And as we go, we'll talk about interesting things that come up. It's a fun book. I'd be arguing for Satan and that God is a tyrant. So you're saying that Satan is the good guy. Oh, Jonah. That was Jonah. My bad. I always get Job and Jonah mixed up. Yeah, my bad. Job. Okay. Yeah. So you're saying that Satan is this like a Gnostic demiurge? God is an evil, the God of the Old Testament is the evil demiurge kind of idea, and that Satan's actually the serpent because Jesus is later called the serpent. That the serpent is actually Jesus or God, and God is an evil demiurge. Is this what you're kind of Gnosticism basically? Some some Gospel of Thomas stuff. That's what it sounds like. Sure, we could do that. I don't even know how I would prepare for that, but probably just be like off the cuff if you wanted to debate about it. No, like no moderate, not like I'm not gonna write an opening. Well, I could if you want to do that, I could, but I'd have to understand more. You're arguing for Satan and that God is a tyrant. Yeah, we could do that. Anyway, let's get into this. Chapter 15. This mic feels a little too close. And it came to pass after this that Absalom prepared him chariots and horses and 50 men to run before him. And Absalom rose up early and stood beside the way of the gate. And it was so that when any man that had a controversy came to the king for judgment, then Absalom called unto him and said, Of what city art thou? And he said, Thy servant is of one of the tribes of Israel. And Absalom said unto him, See, thy matters are good and right, but there is no man deputed of the king to hear thee. Absalom said, moreover, Oh, that I were made judge in the land, that every man which hath any suit or case might come unto me, and I would do him justice. Absalom wants to be a judge. And it was so that when any man, dude, I changed my light bulb, and it doesn't flicker constantly like it used to, and it's much brighter now. But I realized when this air conditioner is on and it switches over, it makes the light twitch. So every time, because the air conditioner will go from like one mode to another mode. XLR connection, yeah, but I'm not even using it. I can't figure out how to. The XLR is connected, but the USB is also connected. And if you see the light, that means we're using USB right now. Because I don't know how to get the XLR is mono. When I use the XLR, it plays through OBS mono. And I, for the life of me, can't figure out how to fix it. I sat here for an hour yesterday looking through tutorials and videos, and nobody's addressing the issue that I'm having. And I cannot figure out how to, except for one very convoluted explanation that has like 15 steps where I basically have to have, like I have to have an XLR cord going in from here, the USB hooked up, another XLR going in. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. If you know how to do it, are you crazy? Tell me sometime. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. So Absalom wants to be judge, and it was so that when any man came nigh to him to do him obeisance, he put forth his hand and took him and kissed him. And on this matter did Absalom to all Israel that came to the king for judgment. So Absalom stole the hearts of the men of Israel. And it came to pass, that's not gay. And it came to pass after 40 years that Absalom said unto the king, I pray thee, let me go and pay my vow, which I have vowed unto the Lord in Hebron. For thy servant vowed a vow while I abode in Geshur in Syria, saying, If the Lord shall bring me again indeed to Jerusalem, then I will serve the Lord. And the king said unto him, Go in peace. So he rose and went to Hebron. But Absalom sent spies throughout all the tribes of Israel, saying, As soon as ye hear the sound of the trumpet, then ye shall say, Absalom reigneth in Hebron. And when Absalom went, also this title of this page is Absalom's conspiracy. So Absalom's conspiring against David. Even simple setups require so much. It's ridiculous. Yeah, I can't. I have an audio voice meter. Dude, I got to install something else. I have it's in an interface. It's in a Focusrite Scarlett 2i2 4th gen. It's a good interface. It's a good interface. But I just can't make it not mono. It's always mono. I could switch right now to the MXL and show you, but just take my word for it, it's mono. It's not in the Focusrite settings. It's not in the Motive Mix settings, which are the program for the mic. It's not in the OBS settings. I don't know. All right. And with Absalom Absalom reigneth in Hebron, and when Absalom went 200 men, and with Absalom went 200 men out of Jerusalem that were called, and they went in their simplicity, and they knew not anything. And Absalom sent for, here's a tough one, Ahithophel, the Gilonite, David's counselor, from his city, even from Gilo, while he offered sacrifices. And the conspiracy was strong, for the people increased continually with Absalom. Absalom's raising forces against David. And there came a messenger to David, saying, the hearts of the men of Israel are after Absalom. And David said unto all his servants that were with him at Jerusalem, arise, and let us flee, for we shall not else escape from Absalom. Make speed to depart, lest he overtake us suddenly, and bring evil upon us, and smite the city with the edge of the sword. And the king's servant said unto the king, behold, thy servants are ready to do whatsoever my lord the king shall appoint. And the king went forth, and all his household after him. And the king left 10 women which were concubines to keep the house. Nice. Hey, can't go wrong there. And the king went forth, and all the people after him, and tarried in a place that was far off. And all his servants passed on beside him, and all the Cherethites, and all the Pelethites, and all the Gittites, 600 men which came after him from Gath, passed on before the king. Then said the king to Ittai, I don't know, the Gittite, wherefore goest thou also with us? Return to thy place and abide with the king, for thou art a stranger and also an exile. Whereas thou camest but yesterday, should I this day make thee go up and down with us? Seeing I go whither I may, return thou. Seeing I go whither I may, return thou, and take back thy brethren. Mercy and truth be with thee. And Ittai answered the king and said, as the Lord liveth, and as my lord the king liveth, surely in what place my lord the king shall be, whether in life or death, even there also will thy servant be. So Ittai wants to stay with David. And David said to Ittai, go and pass over. And Ittai the Gittite passed over, and all his men, and all the little ones that were with him. And all the country wept with a loud voice, and all the people passed over. The king also himself passed over the brook Kidron. And all the people were passed over toward the way of the wilderness. They're retreating into the wilderness. This is David's son conspiring against him, raising an army, and David's afraid. He's taking all his people and retreating into the wilderness again. David always hiding out in the dang wilderness. Unplug the USB? No, I'm not going to do that, because then there won't be any audio. If I unplug the USB, then I have to switch to the MX or to the XLR, and if I switch to the XLR, it's going to be mono. Your ice maker is in the toilet? And lo, Zadok also, and all the Levites were with him, bearing the ark of the covenant of God. And they set down the ark of God, and Abiathar went up until all the people had done passing out of the city. Also, with this mic, I don't know why you wouldn't use USB. Whoa, my desktop background just changed automatically. I need to fix that. I need to set it to something Instead of having these random, I got beavers on my screen. Pause. Not that type of beaver. Real beavers. I think that's a beaver. Let me see. I don't know. It could be a nutria. It looks kind of like a actually, it's not a beaver. It doesn't have a tail. It's a nutria. Why is Google putting or Microsoft putting dang nutria or whatever this creature is? You want to see what I'm talking about? What kind of animal is this? It's not a nutria. That's one of you foreigners is going to know what that is. What is that? It's not a beaver. It looked like a beaver, but it's not a beaver. Capybaras, that's what it is. Yes. I knew one of you foreigners would know. I don't think those things grow in America. I don't think we have those here. Capybara. Looks kind of like a nutria. You know, you can hunt nutrias in some places without any sort of license. You can just pop them all day. Light them up. And the king said unto Zadok, carry back the ark of God into the city. If I shall find favor in the eyes of the Lord, he will bring me again and show me both it and his habitation. But if he thus say, I have no delight in thee, behold, here am I. Let him do to me as seemeth good unto him. The king said also unto Zadok the priest, art not thou a seer? Return into the city in peace, and your 2 sons with you, Ahimaaz thy son, and Jonathan the son of Abiathar. See, I will tarry in the plain of the wilderness until there come word from you to certify me. Zadok therefore and Abiathar carried the ark of God again to Jerusalem, and they tarried there. And David went up by the ascent to Mount Olivet, and wept as he went up, and had his head covered, and he went barefoot. Dang, climbing a mountain barefoot? I've done that before. It's not fun. If you look at my Let's Go Camping series, in one of them, I lost my shoe crossing a river, and then I camped out all night in a mountain with one shoe. And then the next morning, on the way home, walking along the river, I found it stuck in a tree. That was a cool video. You should check it out. And David went up by the ascent of Mount Olivet and wept as he went up, and had his head covered, and he went barefoot. And all the people that was with him covered every man his head, and they went up weeping as they went up. And one told David, saying, Ahithophel is among the conspirators with Absalom. And David said, O Lord, I pray thee, turn the counsel of Ahithophel into foolishness. And it came to pass that when David was come to the top of the mount, where he worshipped God, behold, Hushai, the Archite, came to meet him with his coat rent and earth upon his head. Upon whom David said, if thou passest on with me, then thou shalt be a burden unto me. But if thou return to the city and say unto Absalom, I will be thy servant, O king, as I have been thy father's servant, hitherto, so will I now also be thy servant. Then mayest thou for me defeat the counsel of Ahithophel. And hast thou not there with thee Zadok and Abiathar the priests? And hast thou not there with thee Zadok and Abiathar the priests? Therefore it shall be that what thing soever thou shalt hear out of the king's house, thou shalt tell it to Zadok and Abiathar the priests. Go be a spy. Behold, they have there with them their 2 sons, Ahimaaz, Zadok's son, and Jonathan, Abiathar's son. And by them ye shall send unto me everything that ye can hear. So Hushai, David's friend, came into the city, and Absalom came into Jerusalem. Chapter 16. Shimei curses David. Let's put this here. Yeah, that'll do. That'll do. In Mississippi, you used to be able to hunt nutria rats and get $5 per tail you turned in because they were such a problem. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of places you can just kill them indiscriminately. But some places they'll even pay you for them. Coyotes are like that in some places, and white-tailed deers. I don't know if it's still a problem in Iowa or Idaho, one of those two places. Chapter 16. And when David was a little past the top of the hill, behold, Ziba, the servant of Mephibosheth, met him with a couple of asses saddled, and upon them 200 loaves of bread, and 100 bunches of raisins. Who eats raisins? And 100 of summer fruits, and a bottle of wine. And the king said unto Ziba, What meanest thou by these? And Ziba said, The asses be for the king's household to ride on, and the bread and summer fruit for the young men to eat, and the wine that such as be faint in the wilderness may drink. Yeah, what do you... In other words, he said, what do you think they're for, David? The donkeys are to ride on. The food is to eat. The wine is to drink. Thanks, Captain Obvious. What kind of question is that, King David? And the king said, And where is thy master's son? And Ziba said unto the king, Behold, he abideth at Jerusalem, for he said, Today shall the house of Israel restore me the kingdom of my father. Then said the king to Ziba, Behold, thine are all that pertained unto Mephibosheth. And Ziba said, I humbly beseech thee that I may find grace in thy sight, my lord, O king. And when King David came to Bahurim, behold, thence came out a man of the family of the house of Saul, whose name was Shimei, the son of Gera. He came forth and cursed still as he came. And he cast stones at David and at all the servants of King David, and all the people and all the mighty men were on his right hand and on his left. This guy went insane. His dad's dead. Kingdom's gone. He's out in the wilderness on a hilltop somewhere like a nomad, and he sees David and he starts throwing rocks at him. And thus said Shimei when he cursed, come out, thou bloody man, and thou man of Belial. He's calling David a demon. The Lord hath returned upon thee all the blood of the house of Saul, in whose stead thou hast reigned. And the Lord hath delivered the kingdom into the hand of Absalom thy son. And behold, thou art taken in thy mischief, because thou art a bloody man. And he's right. This is why he made a mistake, and God's punishing him for it. Then said Abishai, the son of Zeruiah, unto the king, Why should this dead dog curse my lord the king? Let me go over, I pray thee, and take off his head. Why is this loser talking crap to us, David? Let me handle that. And the king said, What have I to do with you, ye sons of Zeruiah? So let him curse, because the Lord hath said unto him, Curse David. Let him curse, because God makes him curse. He's cursing at us because God told him to curse at us. Who shall then say, Wherefore hast thou done so? Why should you ask why he's doing it? He's doing it because God told him to do it. He's doing it because God said, Curse David. David's got it all figured out. And David said to Abishai and to all his servants, Behold, my son, which came forth of my bowels, seeketh my life. How much more now may this Benjamite do it? Let him alone, and let him curse, for the Lord hath bidden him. Bidden, the Lord, not bit him, not bitten him, bidden with a D. Leave him alone. Let him curse at us. My son's trying to kill me. You think I'm worried about this guy? It may be that the Lord will look on mine affliction, and that the Lord will requite me good for his cursing this day. So if God's making him curse at me, if I don't respond to it, God will bless me. And it's almost like God made me to do this. And the king and all the people that were with him came weary and refreshed themselves there. And Absalom and all the people, the men of Israel, came to Jerusalem, and Ahithophel with him. And it came to pass, when Hushai the Archite, David's friend, was come unto Absalom, that Hushai said unto Absalom, God save the king, God save the king. Actually, I want to highlight something real quick. Un momento. Okay. God save the king, God save the king. And Absalom said to Hushai, is this thy kindness to thy friend? Why wentest thou not with thy friend? And Hushai said unto Absalom, nay, but whom the Lord and this people and all the men of Israel chose, his will I be, and with him will I abide. And again, whom should I serve? Should I not serve in the presence of his son? As I have served in thy father's presence, so will I be in thy presence. So this is David's friend, the spy, talking to the new current king, Absalom, David's son. And he's saying, I served your father. Why shouldn't I serve you here? But I don't think Absalom's going to like this. He's going to see it as disloyal. Then said Absalom to Ahithophel, give counsel among you what we shall do. And Ahithophel said unto Absalom, go in unto thy father's concubines, which he hath left to keep the house, and all Israel shall hear that thou art abhorrent of thy father. Then shall the hands of all that are with thee be strong. So they spread Absalom a tent upon the top of the house, and Absalom went in unto his father's concubines in the sight of all of Israel. So he asked his council, what should we do? And his council said, go sleep with your father's handmaids, his concubines, who he left here to take care of his castle. Go sleep with them in front of all of Israel so that they'll see you're king now. So he did it on the rooftop. He went in unto all 10 concubines on the rooftop and let all of Israel see it and hear it, so that they would say, oh, that's the guy now. That fool don't play. We're going to follow him. That's wild. They spread Absalom a tent upon the top of the house, and Absalom went in unto his father's concubines in the sight of all of Israel. And the counsel of Ahithophel, which he counseled in those days, was if a man had inquired at the oracle of God, so was all the counsel of Ahithophel, both with David and with Absalom. What does that mean? Was as if a man had inquired at the oracle of God. 9 word. Let me look at this real quick. 2 Samuel 16, 22 through 23. You need to read that passage in light of 2 Samuel 12, 13, and 18. The promise that God made to David. Yeah, this is when David was cursed. We've talked about this already. 13 and 14. Yeah, I just read all of it, but yeah. He sinned against the Lord. This is why David lost the kingdom. I think we just mentioned this a couple minutes ago when I was reading the summary of chapter 14 about Absalom. This goes back to basically the punishment of David from chapter 12. But this always happens in the Bible. Like something will happen. It happened with Saul, happened with Moses. It's cyclical. It constantly happens. The king is doing good, then the king screws up, and then God said you're going to be punished because of this. Usually before they even screw up, God will tell them you're going to screw up and then you're going to be punished for it. And then they screw up and then they get punished for it. It's almost like it was all part of God's plan. Like he already knew it was going to happen. Hola, kitty. Where was I? Oh, I want to understand what this means by. It seems like. Where did my. Oh, it's right here. 2 Samuel 16, 22 through 23. No, not 15, 16. Saul's 2 Samuel. What the heck? Is this like auto-correcting? Absalom, driven by the wicked counsel of Ahithophel, commits a heinous act against his father David's concubines on the roof of the palace, an act of public degradation. Basically, they had a one-man orgy with 11 members, one man, on the roof of the castle for all of Israel to see. This act was a display of rebellion and a deliberate insult to David, highlighted by the depths of Saul's rebellion. Okay, but tell me about 23. What does this mean? The verse emphasizes the destructive nature of Ahithophel's counsel. It states that the counsel of Ahithophel, which he gave in those days, was as if a man had inquired at the oracle of God. This is the part that I want to understand. This means that Absalom followed. Oh, okay. Ahithophel's wicked advice, and it was believed to be so wise and authoritative that it was as God had spoken through him. Okay, that makes sense. I thought it was justifying. I thought it was saying that Ahithophel's counsel was like of the word of God, like it was a good thing. But that's not what it's saying. It's saying Absalom listened to Ahithophel as if he was God. He thought everything Ahithophel said was golden, which, makes sense if you're an evil king and your counselor tells you, go have an orgy on the rooftop with all of the former king's concubines so that everybody can see you. I mean, from that day forward, you're going to be like, I really like this guy. I'm taking this guy's advice all the time if that's the type of advice he's given. In the days when there was no king, men will do what is right in their own eyes. There is a king in Israel right now. It's Absalom, but is he really a king? Not really. He's not really a rightful king. Dude, this is like Game of Thrones. This is like Game of Thrones when dang Winterfell, what is it? I don't Whiterun, Winterfell. I'm mixing up Skyrim and Game of Thrones. Gets dang conquered and Jon Snow's got to go out into the wilderness and wander around and the degenerate kings come in. But David will rise again. Visiting other channels makes you stop showing up for a while to others. Yeah, people come and go. It's understandable. You get tired of the same content all the time, and Whiterun is Skyrim. Yeah, I know. Especially if God says he'll make it happen. Yeah. Yep. God still says that he'll make it happen in chapter 12. Yeah, I agree. You're not going to get any arguments from me, Shiva. That's like the 10th time that that's happened. And I always point it out. I always make sure to clearly point it out. Look, God's telling them this is what's going to happen. And then when it happens, I say, remember when God said this is what's going to happen? And then it happens. It's crazy. It's almost like he already knows what's going to happen before it happens. It's wild. It's almost like they couldn't have chosen to do anything differently to change it and stop it from happening. All right. Moreover, Ahithophel, what time is it? Okay, we got 30 minutes. Moreover, Ahithophel said unto Absalom, let me now choose out 12,000 men, and I will arise and pursue after David this night. Hey, they're not saying even anymore. They're saying night now. Time is progressing. Language is changing. And I will come upon him while he is weary and weak-handed. It will make him afraid. And all the people that are with him shall flee. And I will smite the king only. And I will bring back all the people unto thee. The man with whom thou seekest is as if all returned. So all the people shall be in peace. And the saying pleased Absalom well. Wait, so this is Ahithophel talking. And the saying pleased Absalom well and all the elders of Israel. Then said Absalom, call now Hushai the Archite also, and let us hear likewise what he saith. And when Hushai was come unto Absalom, Absalom spake unto him, saying, Ahithophel hath spoken after this manner. Shall we do after his saying? If not, speak thou. And Hushai said unto Absalom, the counsel that Ahithophel hath given is not good at this time. Hushai is David's friend. He went back, and then he's like the spy. He's going to tell David when it's safe to come back. So he says Ahithophel is not giving you good advice, King. I don't think he's ever giving you good advice, unless you want to just be a degenerate, heathen, monster king. For said Hushai, thou knowest thy father and his men, that they be mighty men, and they be chafed in their minds, as a bear robbed of her whelps in the field. They're angry. And thy father is a man of war, and will not lodge with the people. Behold, he is hid now in some pit, or in some other place. And it will come to pass, when some of them be overthrown at the first, that whosoever heareth it will say, there is a slaughter among the people that follow Absalom. And he also that is valiant, whose heart is as the heart of a lion, shall utterly melt. For all Israel knoweth that thy father is a mighty man, and they which be with him are valiant men. So if you go, if David's not with the people in the soldiers in the wilderness, David's hiding separately from them. If you go in there to find David, just to kill David, you're going to end up getting in a battle with all of his soldiers, and you're not even going to find him. And then what's going to happen is all of Israel's going to see that you slaughtered all of these former Israelites in the wilderness who were with David, and they're not going to like that. Therefore I counsel that all Israel be generally gathered unto thee, from Dan even to Beersheba, as the sand that is by the sea for multitude, that thou go to battle in thine own person. So shall we come upon him in some place where he shall be found, and we will light upon him as the dew falleth on the ground. And of him and of all the men that are with him, there shall not be left so much as one. Wait, so is Hushai a good guy or not? Or is Hushai setting this up so that David can win the battle? Because Hushai just said, wipe him out. I'm a little confused. I thought Hushai was a good guy. Maybe not. Maybe not. I don't want to look it up. We'll figure it out. We'll keep reading and we'll get it more. Moreover, if he be gotten into a city, then shall all Israel bring ropes to that city, and we will draw it into the river, until there be not one small stone found there. And Absalom and all the men of Israel said, the counsel of Hushai the Archite is better than the counsel of Ahithophel. For the Lord hath appointed to defeat the good counsel of Ahithophel, to the intent that the Lord might bring evil upon Absalom. Then said Hushai unto Zadok and to Abiathar the priests, Thus and thus did Ahithophel counsel Absalom and the elders of Israel, and thus have I counseled. Now therefore send quickly and tell David, saying, Lodge not this night in the plains of the wilderness, but speedily pass over, lest the king be swallowed up and all the people that are with him. Okay. So Hushai is a good guy. He's feeding the king. He's feeding the king information, but it's a setup. They're setting the king up. I keep saying the king. They're setting Absalom up. Hushai is, and Hushai is letting David know the plan. Now Jonathan and Ahimaaz stayed by Engregel, for they might not be seen to come into the city. And a wench went and told them, and they went and told King David. Nevertheless, a lad saw them and told Absalom. But they went both of them away quickly and came to a man's house in Bahurim, which had a well in his court, whither they went down. And the woman took and spread a covering over the well's mouth, and spread the ground corn thereon, and the thing was not known. So they're hiding. And when Absalom's servants came to the woman to the house, they said, Where is Ahimaaz and Jonathan? And the woman said unto them, They be gone over the brook of water. And when they had sought and could not find them, they returned to Jerusalem. So she hid them. And then she lied. Oh, another good lie. Look at that. Another good lie. Jordan Peterson needs to hear that. There's lots of good lies that are told in the Bible. God commands people to lie sometimes. Jordan Peterson doesn't know that. He said he would never lie, not even to save his own children's life. And it came to pass after they were departed that they came up out of the well and went and told King David and said unto David, Arise and pass quickly over the water, for thus hath Ahithophel counseled against you. Well, actually, Hushai did, but he's also sending the warning. Then David arose and all the people that were with him, and they passed over Jordan. Everybody crossing the Jordan. I wonder if God spread the waters then too. By the morning light, there lacked not one of them that was not gone over Jordan. And when Ahithophel saw that his counsel was not followed, he saddled his ass and arose and gat him home to his house, to his city, and put his household in order. And hanged himself and died. What? And was buried in the sepulchre of his father. What? Wait. Oh, this is not Absalom. This is Ahithophel. And when Ahithophel saw that his counsel was not followed, he saddled his ass and arose and gat him home to his house, to his city, and put his household in order, and hanged himself and died, and was buried in the sepulchre of his father. So Ahithophel's one time the king doesn't listen to what he recommends, and he goes and offs himself. What a beta. Beta! He saddled his ass. And then he hung himself, Seesaw. Hey, Seesaw, when you were on that show, you did that interview on that show. Speaking of, why ain't they hitting me up for an interview? You said David tried to build a temple for God, and God said your hands are too bloody. When does that happen? Is that later? Are we not there yet? Or because there was a part where David says he wants to build God a temple, and God says something like, all the people live in tents. I don't need a temple made out of wood. You know what I'm talking about? David makes a castle for himself out of cedar, and then he says, God, I'm going to make you a temple. And God says, no, all of my people are in tents and wilderness and fields and deserts, and what makes you think that I need to live in a cedar house? But he doesn't say anything about David having too much blood on his hand. Let me find the verse. I'm pretty sure it's at the end of David's life when he's almost dead. Okay, if that's the case, then I just haven't got there yet. Because he's tried once, and God said no. So maybe he's going to try again later in his life, and God's going to say no for a different reason. But the first time he said no, he said, basically, I don't need you to build me a cedar fortress. I'm God. Like, what am I going to do with that? Although they did have the tabernacle, which was pretty fancy for its time. A lot of gold in that thing. I'm also wondering where we're going to get to the part where the ark falls and the dude dies when he touches it. Because that still hasn't happened yet. Or did it? When does that happen? I think that happens in Chronicles. Chronicles. When? Or no, maybe we read it in 1 Samuel. Oh, it is Chronicles. It's First Chronicles. I listened to a really good sermon on that story, and I'm going to have to re-listen to it before we get to Chronicles. We still have 3rd and 4th Kings. I call it 3rd and 4th Kings because I'm fancy. Not with humans' hands. Okay, where are we at? So Ahithophel just murked himself. He gone. Ain't no sense praying for Ahithophel no more. He gone. All right. Then David came to Mahanaim, and Absalom passed over Jordan, he and all the men of Israel with him. And Absalom made Amasa captain of the host. 2 Samuel 6:6. Are you talking about when David asked, are you talking about what I was just talking about? Because I don't know if that's the same thing Seesaw was talking about. Or maybe it is. I just don't. When I read it, I was looking for it to say that he had too much blood on his hands. But maybe it was. Maybe she just heard like a sermon or something, and maybe it's like implied. But I just haven't read that yet. Seesaw knows her stuff, so it's in there somewhere probably. Okay, and Absalom made Amasa. When my massa says I'm sick, I say yes, Amasa, we sick. Amasa, captain of the host instead of Joab, which Amasa was a man's son whose name was Ithra, an Israelite, that went in to Abigail, the daughter of Nahash, sister of Zeruiah, Joab's mother. That was a super convoluted family line right there. I have no idea what that family tree looks like. So Israel and Absalom pitched in the land of Gilead. And it came to pass when David was come to Mahanaim that Shobi, the son of Nahash of Rabbah, yeah, that's in First Chronicles, Shiva. You're talking about another thing that I said a little while ago. We're on to something different now. I already Googled that. The Uzzah story is in First Chronicles. Is it also in I think they mentioned it in Second Samuel actually, because we just read this the other day. Second Samuel, you're saying 6:6? When they came to Nachon's threshing floor. Yeah, I have it highlighted. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah, yeah. We did talk about it. Did already happen. Look, I even highlighted it. We talked about this like a week or two ago. But I think there's a more detailed um I think it's a little more detailed in First Chronicles 13. Yeah. Okay, we already talked about that. Couple but we'll go into it again when we get it's in First Chronicles 13 also. Irreverent act. Therefore God struck him down. Yeah, we talked about it. Okay, I already covered that. Never mind. All right, where are we at? Shobi, the son of Nahash of Rabbah, the children of Amos, and Machir, the son of Amiel of Lodabar, and Barzillai, the Gileadite of Rogelim, brought beds and basins and earthen vessels and wheat and barley and flour and parched corn and beans and lentils and parched pulse and honey and butter and sheep and cheese of kine for David and for the people that were with him to eat. For they said, the people is hungry and weary and thirsty in the wilderness. So Absalom is now bringing food to David. Dribble dramas. I got ad for Tina for Men. I don't know what that means. You shouldn't be getting any ads right now. There should be no shouldn't be any ads running during this. What the? All right. Chapter 18. I'd like to get to chapter 20, but these are big chapters. Yeah. These are some chunky chapters. Absalom about to get got. All right. Chapter 18. And David numbered the people that were with him and set captains of thousands and captains of hundreds over them. Seems kind of political. And David sent forth a third part of the people under the hand of Joab, and a third part under the hand of Abishai, the son of Zeruiah, Joab's brother, and a third part under the hand of Ittai, the Gittite. And the king said unto the people, I will surely go forth with you myself also. But the people answered, Thou shalt not go forth. For if we flee away, they will not care for us. Neither if half of us die, will they care for us. But now thou art worth 10,000 of us. Therefore now it is better that thou succor us out of the city. And the king said unto them, What seemeth you best, I will do. And the king stood by the gate side, and all the people came out by hundreds and by thousands. And the king commanded Joab and Abishai and Ittai, saying, Deal gently for my sake with the young man, even with Absalom. And all the people heard when the king gave all the captains charge concerning Absalom. So the people went out into the field against Israel, and the battle was in the wood of Ephraim, where the people of Israel were slain before the servants of David. And there was there a great slaughter that day of 20,000 men. See, they even slaughtered their own people. Tenna for men. Tenna. Wee pat. Oh, like depends. Dude, I might just cop some Depends for streaming purposes. We okay. For real though, like it seems nice, you know? You don't got to get up. When I'm drinking beer, I ain't trying to get up every. Never mind, Josh. It was playing in the background. Oh, okay. 20,000 men. Fellas pads. Dude, I'm going to have to get some of them. All right. 20,000 men. For the battle was there scattered over the face of all the country. And the wood devoured more people that day than the sword devoured. The wood devoured more people than the sword. What do they mean by the wood? Just I'd be sitting there squinching. Gamer commode chair. That would be a fancy chair. And Absalom met the servants of David, and Absalom rode upon a mule, and the mule went under the thick boughs of a great oak, and his head caught hold of the oak, and he was taken up between the heaven and the earth. And the mule was under him, and the mule that was under him went away. Thick boughs of a great oak, and his head caught hold of the oak, and he was taken up between the heaven and the earth, sky and dirt. So wait, he's riding a mule and he gets caught in a tree branch and the mule keeps going and he gets hung in a tree by a tree branch. What a what's the word I'm looking for? Not a fancy way to die for Absalom. Like, you're not looking around? He's just riding his mule and he gets caught in between two tree branches and the mule keeps going and then he's dangling there in between the heaven and the earth. And now he dead. Like a Robin Hood. Does that happen in Robin Hood? Dude, everybody's stealing from the Bible. Everybody plagiarizing the Bible. Dang, Game of Thrones, Robin Hood. Everybody taking ideas from the Bible. That's crazy. His head caught hold of the oak, and he was taken up between the heaven and the earth. And the mule that was under him went away. So yeah, that's exactly. He's riding his mule. There's some branches. He gets his head stuck in the branches, and the mule keeps going, and he's just dangling there. But I don't think he's dead yet. I think he's just stuck there. A certain man saw it and told Joab and said, Behold, I saw Absalom hanged in an oak. And Joab said unto the man that told him, And behold, thou sawest him, and why didst thou not smite him there to the ground? And I would have given thee 10 shekels of silver and a girdle. And the man said unto Joab, Though I should receive 1,000 shekels of silver in mine hand, yet would I not put forth mine hand against the king's son. For in our hearing the king charged thee and Abishai and Ittai, saying, Beware that none touch the young man Absalom. Okay. The Joab says, Why didn't you kill him? I think he's still alive in this tree. He's not dead yet. So he's not choking. He's just stuck in a tree, basically. And Joab says, Why didn't you kill him? I would have given you 10 shekels of silver. Dude says, I don't care if you gave me 1,000 shekels of silver. David told us not to touch Absalom. I'm going to listen to David, not you, Joab. But Joab's about to make a mistake. David's not going to be happy with what Joab's about to do. Not touch the young man Absalom. Otherwise, I should have wrought falsehood against mine own life. For there is no matter hid from the king. and thou thyself wouldest have set thyself against me. Then said Joab, I may not tarry thus with thee. And he took 3 darts in his hand and thrust them through the heart of Absalom while he was yet alive in the midst of the oak. He stuck darts in it. He played darts with Absalom. Bullseye. Got him. And 10 young men that bare Joab's armor compassed about and smote Absalom and slew him. And Joab blew the trumpet, and the people returned from pursuing after Israel, for Joab held back the people. And they took Absalom and cast him into the great pit in the wood, and laid a very great heap of stones upon him, and all Israel fled, every one to his tent. Now Absalom in his lifetime had taken and reared up for himself a pillar, which is in the king's dale. For he said, I have no son to keep my name in remembrance. And he called the pillar after his own name, and it is called unto this day Absalom's place. Then said Ahimaaz, the son of Zadok, let me now run and bear the king tidings, how that the Lord hath avenged him of his enemies. And Joab said unto him, thou shalt not bear tidings of this day, but thou shalt bear tidings another day. But this day thou shalt bear no tidings, because the king's son is dead. And he's not going to be happy with me. He told us not to do that. Joab knows he just made a mistake. Then said Joab to Cushai, go tell the king what thou hast seen. And Cushai bowed himself unto Joab and ran. Wait. You just told them homeboy not to bear tidings, and now you're telling Cushai to bear tidings. Then said Ahimaaz, the son of Zadok, yet again to Joab, but howsoever, let me, I pray thee, also run after Cushai. And Joab said, wherefore wilt thou run, my son, seeing that thou hast no tidings yet? And howsoever, said he, let me run. And he said unto him, run. Then Ahimaaz ran by the way of the plain and overran Cushai. And David sat between the 2 gates, and the watchman went up to the roof over the gate unto the wall, and lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, a man came running alone. And the watchman cried and told the king, and the king said, if he be alone, there is tidings in his mouth. And if he came apace and drew near. And the watchman saw another man running, and the watchman called unto the porter and said, behold, another man running alone. And the king said, he also bringeth tidings. And the watchman said, methinketh the running of the foremost is like the running of Ahimaaz, the son of Zadok. Dang, they recognize him by their running? The son of Zadok. And the king said, he is a good man, and cometh with good tidings. And Ahimaaz called and said unto the king, all is well. And he fell down to the earth upon his face before the king, and said, blessed be the Lord thy God, which hath delivered up the man that lifted up their hand against my lord the king. And the king said, is the young man Absalom safe? And Ahimaaz answered, when Joab sent the king's servant, and me thy servant, I saw a great tumult, but I knew not what it was. Don't lie. And the king said unto him, turn aside, and stand here. And he turned aside and stood still. And behold, Cushi came, and Cushi said, tidings, my lord the king, for the Lord hath avenged thee this day of all them that rose up against thee. And the king said unto Cushai, is the young man Absalom safe? And Cushai answered, the enemies of my lord the king, and all that rise against thee to do thee hurt, be as that young man is. Dead. Basically, that means he dead. They all dead. And the king was much moved, and went up to the chamber over the gate, and wept. And as he went, thus he said, O my son Absalom, my son Absalom, would God I had died for thee, O Absalom, my son, my son. Seems like unconditional love. Seems like David loves unconditionally. He loved Saul unconditionally, even though Saul tried to kill him over and over and over again. He loves his son unconditionally, who tried to steal his kingdom, slept with his concubines, started war against him, chased him into the wilderness, tried to wipe out Israel, tried to kill him, tried to conquer him. And he still loves his son. Just saying. Just saying. Dinner time. Dude, time zones are so crazy. Time zones are so crazy. This makes me think time's not real. How you eating dinner right now? Well, I work nights, so when I get home from work, I eat dinner. But I don't call it dinner. I just call it breakfast, but except it's dinner food. And I don't really eat breakfast. I don't eat breakfast. I just eat dinner. But I eat dinner at breakfast time. Dinner time. All right, we're going to do chapter 19, and I got to wrap this up. I got to go. I got to take a shower. I was doing some yard work today. I had to pull some weeds. The freaking flower planter area. I didn't grow any plants this year. And my neighbor said, "Can we grow some plants in that flower box out front, or are you going to grow plants?" I said, "I'm not growing any plants this year. I ain't got time for that." And he said, "Okay, I'm going to grow some flowers and I'm going to grow some carrots and stuff in there." I told him that soil's garbage. It's just rocks. You're going to need to put soil in there, and also a carrot is like a rooting plant. It's a root. It's not deep, and it's not good soil. It's not going to grow good. If you don't put soil in there, it's not going to grow good. He didn't put soil in, planted carrots, and now he's just letting weeds grow all over it. When I grow plants in there, I weed it. I keep it nice. It looks good. 1 year, I don't do my garden, and it looks like dang trailer trash. Ridiculous. In 1 year, this is the first summer that I'm not doing the landscaping at this complex. The grass has not been mowed all year so far. So right now, the grass is about 3 feet tall all over the whole complex. It's ridiculous. The 1 year, first year that I'm not doing it, it looks like crap. And I told the maintenance guy, I said, "Look, just leave a lawnmower here and I'll mow it for free because it looks like crap. I don't like it. I don't like living here. It looks like crap." Everybody's got nice grass mowed, and then we got this complex. There's 3-foot long grass. There's weeds everywhere. The plants aren't being trimmed. Nothing's being done. No edging. It looks like garbage. Just leave a lawnmower here and I'll mow it. And they won't bring a lawnmower. So I don't have a lawnmower. I have 2 lawnmowers, but they're both broken. I told them, I said, well, they're not my lawnmower. No, they're not my lawnmowers. So I was like, "Hey, these lawnmowers are broken. I can't use them. Bring a working lawnmower and I'll mow it for free. Just because I don't want to look at it." They won't bring a lawnmower. And now they hired some landscaping crew, some Mexicans, and they were supposed to be here Tuesday. And now it's only Wednesday, but they were supposed to come yesterday and mow it, and they didn't show up. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Need to reduce my rent. I'm going to have it looking like we're in the dang ghetto. All right. Sorry. I digress. Chapter 19. Last chapter. I got to hurry up. Let's get through this. David mourns for Absalom. I think we already read that. And it was told Joab, "Behold, the king weepeth and mourneth for Absalom." And the victory that day was turned into mourning unto all the people. For the people heard say that day how the king was grieved for his son. And the people gat them by stealth that day into the city, as people being ashamed steal away when they flee in battle. But the king covered his face, and the king cried with a loud voice, "O my son Absalom, O Absalom, my son, my son." And Joab, you need to stay away right now. You should not be. Don't tarry near David right now. And Joab came into the house to the king and said, "Thou hast shamed this day the faces of all thy servants, which this day have saved thy life, and the lives of thy sons and of thy daughters, and the lives of thy wives, and the lives of thy concubines." His concubines already dang slept with Absalom. "In that thou lovest thine enemies and hatest thy friends, for thou hast declared this day that thou regardest neither princes nor servants. For this day I perceive that if Absalom had lived, and all we had died this day, then it had pleased thee well." So he's saying, David, why are you crying because I killed your enemy? What do you love your enemies and hate your friends? Well, he does love his enemies. I don't think he hates his friends, but he's saying if Absalom would have lived and killed everybody, you would have been happy. Joab's a real jerk. Joab's acting like a real jerk. Now therefore arise, go forth and speak comfortably unto thy servants. For I swear by the Lord, if I go not forth, there will not tarry one with thee this night. And that will be worse unto thee than all the evil that befell thee from thy youth until now. Then the king arose and sat in the gate, and they told unto all the people, saying, Behold, the king doth sit in the gate. And all the people came before the king, for Israel had fled every man to his tent. And all the people were at strife throughout all the tribes of Israel, saying, The king saved us out of the hand of our enemies, and he delivered us out of the hand of the Philistines. And now he is fled out of the land for Absalom. And Absalom, whom we anointed over us, is dead in battle. Now therefore, why speak ye not a word of bringing the king back? And King David sent to Zadok and to Abiathar the priest, saying, Speak unto the elders of Judah, saying, Why are ye the last to bring the king? This is a chunky chapter. Back to his house. Seeing the speech of all Israel is come to the king, even to his house. Ye are my brethren, ye are my bones and my flesh. Wherefore then are ye the last to bring back the king? And say ye to Amasa, Art thou not of my bone and of my flesh? God do so to me, and more also, if thou be not captain of the host before me continually in the room of Joab. And he bowed the heart of all the men of Judah, even as the heart of one man, so that they sent this word unto the king, Return thou and all thy servants. So the king returned and came to Jordan, and Judah came to Gilgal to go to meet the king, to conduct the king over Jordan. And Shimei, the son of Gera, a Benjamite, which was of Bahurim, hasted and came down with the men of Judah to meet King David. And there were 1,000 men of Benjamin with him, and Ziba, the servant of the house of Saul, and his 15 sons and his 20 servants with him, and they went over Jordan before the king. And there went over a ferry boat to carry over the king's household, and to do what he thought good. And Shimei, the son of Gera, fell down before the king as he was come over Jordan, and said unto the king, Let not my lord impute iniquity unto me, neither do thou remember that which thy servant did perversely that day, that my lord the king went out of Jerusalem, that the king should take it to his heart. Shimei, this is the crazy guy that was yelling and throwing rocks. Now he's apologizing because David's in charge again. he ain't trying to get his head chopped off. David ain't a head chopper, though. Well, unless he wants your wife, and then he'll send you to battle. Yeah. For thy servant doth know that I have sinned. And this is why all this is happening to David, by the way. The stuff with Bathsheba and sending her husband out to battle. This is why all David's going through all this. For thy servant doth know that I have sinned. Therefore, behold, I am come the first this day of all, the house of Joseph, to go down to meet my lord the king. But Abishai, the son of Zeruiah, answered and said, Shall not Shimei be put to death for this, because he cursed the Lord's anointed? And David said, What have I to do with you, ye sons of Zeruiah, that ye should this day be adversaries unto me? Shall there any man be put to death this day in Israel? For do not I know that I am this day king over Israel? Therefore the king said unto Shimei, Thou shalt not die. And the king sware unto him. And he said, they wanted to kill him when Shimei was cursing at him the first time and throwing rocks at him. And he said, no, God is making him curse at us. God has bidden him to curse at us. And if I deal kindly with him, I will be blessed. Sure enough, he dealt kindly with him. He didn't kill him. And they won the battle. And now they're saying, let's kill him. And David's like, what, you think after we won the battle for not killing him, that we're going to kill him now? That don't make no dang sense. He's a head chopper. Just ask like, yeah, shopper. I said chopper. Well, he did chop David's. You're right. You're right. He did chop Goliath's head off after he sharpshooted him, sharp slinged him. After he sharp slinged him, he sharp sworded him, chopped his head off. You're right. That's true. I forgot about that head. That head was rolling. Therefore the king said unto Shimei, Thou shalt not die. And the king sware unto him. And Mephibosheth, the son of Saul, came down to meet the king, and had neither dressed his feet, nor trimmed his beard, nor washed his clothes. Well, that sounds like me every day. From the day the king departed until the day he came again in peace. And it came to pass, when he was come to Jerusalem to meet the king, that the king said unto him, Wherefore wentest not thou with me, Mephibosheth? And he answered, My lord, O king, my servant deceived me. For thy servant said, I will saddle me an ass, that I may ride thereon, and go to the king, because thy servant is lame. And he hath slandered thy servant unto my lord the king, but my lord the king is an angel of God. Therefore, do what is good in thine eyes. That's the second time that David has been called an angel of God. That's interesting. Now, he's being called that by men. He's not being called that by God. But that's the second time a man has called David an angel of God. Probably just a figure of speech type thing. Basically, they're saying he's blessed. He's cool. He's pretty neat. He got sharp sling. Angel meaning messenger. Yeah. I've heard this, that angel means messenger. But I'm not sure where. Maybe it's in the. I feel like we looked this up in the Strongs. Oh yeah, it does in Greek. In Greek means messenger. Definition: angel or messenger. News. Oh, pastors get called angels too. Okay. Messenger, delegate. But there's difference between human angels or heavenly or celestial angels. Guardian angels. Oh, we're going through the. That's the Apelagos, or Agelos, Agelos is the Greek. But what about the Hebrew? I don't want 32. I want Strong's Hebrew. Greek. Here's the Hebrew. It also means Malak. Malak. It also means messenger in Hebrew. Okay. Cool. Angelos. It spelled it Aggelos. Aggelos. Anyway. Okay, so it's just saying he's a messenger of God. For all of my father's house were but dead men before my lord the king, yet didst thou set thy servant among them that did eat at thine own table. What right, therefore, have I yet to cry any more unto the king? And the king said unto him, Why speakest thou any more of thy matters? I have said, Thou and Ziba divide the land. And Mephibosheth said unto the king, Yes, let him take all, for as much as my lord the king is come again in peace unto his own house. And Barzillai the Gileadite came down from Rogelim and went over to Jordan with the king to conduct him over Jordan. Now Barzillai sounds like a rapper name. Fun with words. Barzillai. Yo, they call me Barzillai. Barzillai was a very aged man, even 80 years old. He's 80. And he had provided the king of subsistence while David's got to be getting up there at like 80 by now. How old was he when he became king? Let's say 20 at the youngest. And this is 40 years later, so he's at least 60. David dang 80 years old himself. Maybe not. Maybe he was a little younger. I don't know. Even for provided the king a substance while he lay at Mahanaim, for he was a very great man. And the king said unto Barzillai, Come thou over with me, and I will feed thee with me in Jerusalem. And Barzillai said unto the king, How long have I to live, that I should go up with the king unto Jerusalem? I am this day 80 years old, and I can discern between good and evil. And can I discern between good and evil? Can thy servant taste what I eat or what I drink? Can I hear any more the voice of singing men and singing women? Wherefore then should thy servant be yet a burden unto my lord the king? He's saying, I'm deaf. I can't even taste food. I'm older than dirt. I don't even know the difference between good and evil. Thy servant will go a little way over Jordan with the king. And why should the king recompense me with such a reward? Let thy servant, I pray thee, turn back again, that I may die in mine own city, and be buried by the grave of my father and of my mother. But behold, thy servant Chimham, let him go over with my lord the king, and do to him what shall seem good unto thee. And the king answered, Chimham shall go over with me, and I will do to him that which seem good unto thee. And whatsoever thou shalt require of me, that will I do for thee. And all the people went over Jordan, and when the king was come over, the king kissed Barzillai and blessed him, and he returned unto his own place. Then the king went on to Gilgal, and Chimham went with him, and all the people of Judah conducted the king, and also half the people of Israel. And behold, all the men of Israel came to the king, and said unto the king, Why have our brethren, the men of Judah, stolen thee away, and have brought the king and his household, and all of David's men with him over Jordan? And all the men of Judah answered the men of Israel, Because the king is near to kin to us. Wherefore then be ye angry for this matter? Have we eaten at all the king's cost? Or hath he given us any gift? And the men of Israel answered the men of Judah and said, We have 10 parts in the king, and we have also more right in David than ye. Why then did ye despise us, that our advice should not be first had in bringing back our king? And the words of the men of Judah were fiercer than the words of the men of Israel. There's an argument. Fun with words. All right. That's chapter 20. We're at chapter 20. Tomorrow, what do we got? What do we got coming up tomorrow? Ooh. Oh, we're almost done. We're going to finish tomorrow. We got 4 chapters left. Well, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. We have 5 chapters left. Then we get to Kings, and we start to learn about Solomon. Solomon's already been born. His name has been mentioned. He's alive right now. Just his birth was mentioned, but Oh, shoot. Tomorrow, seven of Saul's sons get hanged. David's Song of Deliverance. Oh, we got a long song. A long song from David. David's mighty men. David numbers the people. Gotta keep a census. A good king gotta have a census. Well done. I love that you are reading the word publicly. Thank you, sir. That tower is sick. Oh yeah. Yes, it is. I like to I'd like to vertically mount the graphics card so that you can see it, because it's got cool, you can see a little bit of them right there from the side, but if I flipped it vertically, they go down the side at an angle, so you'd be able to see the fans and you'd see these lights going like this. And I wish there was a, so you can't really see what's playing on the screen. See, there's Vegeta. And now there's Gohan. He's killing the Cell Juniors. And now there's Goku going Ultra Instinct. And then that's the monkey that does the little eye thing, and it's got a clock and it's got the temperature. 43 degrees. I don't think this thing's broken. 50 degrees yet. And I think it can go like between 60 and 70 is fine, but I haven't been able to push it hard enough to get it. And I've ran Cinebench. I haven't run Zora yet. I can't figure out how to download Zora, which is a benchmark tester. I haven't run. Wait, what did I run? Oh, no, I ran Heaven. I have not run Cinebench yet. So next time we're doing a hangout stream, like on a Friday or Saturday night, I'm going to have to figure out how to run Cinebench, and we're going to, while streaming, benchmark it in Cinebench. Also, I've yet to play any of these new games that I got. I got Cyberpunk and I got Black Myth Wukong just because they're very demanding games graphically. I got thumbnails ready. One of these days, I don't know, I'd like to do some like gaming streams before I go into work, but if I'm doing the Bible streams, then I stay up too late. I don't know. Maybe we'll do like Friday morning gaming instead of because I want to do some benchmarking with Cyberpunk and Black Myth Wukong playing to see what this thing can do. If I benchmark it while I'm playing a very demanding game on ultra settings, while I'm streaming, while I'm in Discord, I want to see what's happening with it when I do all that stuff, because I haven't even pushed it yet. I'm going to stress test it. Why did CC Cleaner open? I might as well run it. But anyway, I gotta go. I gotta take a shower. I'm dirty. What do you use to make your thumbnails? An app on my phone called Thumbnail Maker. It's a free app. It's pretty simple. It's nothing special. I'd like to get fancy with it, and I have GIMP, but I don't have Photoshop. I used to know Photoshop pretty well. I had a bootlegged Photoshop. I used to be pretty good at Photoshop, but that was like 12 years ago, and I don't remember anything about it. And I'm not going to download pirated programs anymore because it's not good. Well, at least not on this computer. Maybe I would do it on the laptop, but not on this computer. I'm not. But anyway, let me find somebody to raid you over to. I gotta go get in the shower. Who's live? Joel Friday. Evan O'Brien is live. Is Evan O'Brien Evan? I wear jorts, Evan. Let me see. Is that the Evan I'm thinking of? Evan O'Brien. Is he doing anything? Or is it just because sometimes Evan will be streaming and he'll just be like sleeping? Yeah, he's not even doing anything. There's no. I'm scrolling through his stream. He's been streaming for 3 hours and he hasn't. No, he's been streaming. Does he even know he's streaming? Somebody message Evan. He's been streaming for 12 hours. And I'm scrolling through it. Dude, he's doing a chair stream. I don't think. Oh, look, there's somebody walking around in his living room. Dude, does he know the whole world is watching his living can watch his living room? There's his wife. He's been live for 12 hours. And there's no. I don't think he knows he's live. This is like what happened to me with the chair stream. Somebody needs to message Evan to let him know that he's live and is just recording his living room. What the heck? Okay, well, I'm not going to send you there. We're not going to stare at Evan's living room. X Toy Cat. Who is that? I don't remember who that is. Joel Friday ends in 7 minutes, so I'm not going to send you there. I guess we'll go to JLR Investigates. He's covering the Diddy trial. Yeah, I'll send you over there. Even though he usually has like 2,000 people watching him. Nobody's live on mine, although James' life is in a weird fake dark arts panel. What? Oh, I don't know that. Enjoy my shower. It was funny. I'll play the whole thing at some point. Abe's channel, watching that Tropic Thunder thing. I'm on Abe's channel. Is Abe live? Maybe I'm not subscribed to him. Let's see. Oh, I'm not subscribed to Abe. Well, now I am. He's not live. That's fine. I'll send you to JLR Investigates if you want to see some Diddy trial action. But all right, God bless, guys. Thank you for hanging out. I'll be back tomorrow, and we will finish 2 Samuel. We've been on 2 Samuel for a while because we've been slacking on the Bible streams because I've had to get a bunch of stuff done. But we're getting there. All I got left now is the overlays. I got to figure out how to get those overlays that I bought into my OBS. I know how to get, once I get the overlays into Stream Elements, I know how to set them up and I know how to put them into OBS. But the ones that I bought on nerdordie.com, I need to get those into Stream Elements somehow. I downloaded them, but now I don't know how to import them into Stream Elements. So I got to figure out how to do that. And then we can get some cool overlays and some cool stinger transitions and all that stuff. But I'll see you guys later. Go put some chairs in JLR Investigates chat. He's covering the P. Diddy trial. And God bless, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Doses.